if he's going to fight, get stuck into somebody with a name. Get stuck in and have a fight, and let's see where you are in your career.
I'd like to see them actually, yes, fighting someone in around
someone in the top the top 10, like.
Welcome to DocsCast. We're back to talk about, firstly, about a massive world title fight, and especially for Irish boxing. Any boxing fan that's Irish is going to have a field day in knowing that this is the first time that two Irish fighters will be fighting for a major world title. That's Paddy the Real Deal Donovan and Lewis Crocker. The first fight was very controversial, but they're back for the rematch and to settle the score. The fight is on September 13th on the Zone, and the fight is in Windsor Park. We're hoping to be there. So we'll briefly touch on the first fight and what we thought of it. So Mick, you've seen the first fight. What did you make of firstly how the fight was going, and secondly the way it ended? Like,
yeah, it was a great build up to the fight, Paul, and the Irish fans are unbelievable, as we know. There was a good bit of niggle in it as well, and the fight took place. Paddy Donovan seemed to take control of the fight. He was cruising along, and to be honest, there looked like there was a good difference in class, you know. Now, people say Paddy Donovan was fouling, and there was, you know, but I think it was nip and tuck because of the style of the fight, you know, and because of their styles, the way they went together. There was a couple of clashes and stuff like that, but Donovan seemed to be very much in control of that fight. Now, this week, you know, we see the new build up to the second fight, and Billy Nelson is saying that his man Lewis Crocker wasn't right the day of the fight. Now, as Paddy Donovan said, we didn't hear that before the fight. Everything was, he's perfect and stuff like that. So, look, remains to be seen. You'd have to strongly favour Paddy Donovan to win this based on the last performance. We know there was a controversial end to it. Paddy Donovan hit a punch after the bell, you know, which was unfortunate. And when you're in the heat of the moment, Paul, and you're swinging, you know, sometimes it can be hard to hold back that trigger, you know. So the next fight, all is on the line. As you say, Paul, we're both going to it. Really looking forward to it. It's going to be a quality matchup. You'd imagine it's going to be a different fight this time around. They've both been in the ring with each other now, so, you know. But I imagine that Paddy Donovan is going to put it on him more, Paul, this time around.
Yeah. I like looking at the first fight. Lewis Crocker, he came out almost like Antonio Margherita. He was just buttoning up the whole fight, head forward. That's what I thought was a problem as well with the two of them. Maybe
because of the styles,
it was a bit of both. He was coming forward a bit.
Yeah.
He was buckling up. He's lovely shots. He's a lovely boxer. Donovan. Lovely footwork, picks his shots. Yeah. I don't like Crocker's a tough man, you know, and that's what he was obviously trying to do in that fight. It looked like he was trying to, I guess, let Donovan work himself out to the point that he'd be tired, and he'd tire himself out with the fight without. But it didn't look like that. Donovan actually seemed to me like he was getting better as the fight went on.
Yeah.
Now I did think there was a bit of nip and tuck, as you said. The ref deducted Donovan, I think, he 2 points during the fight, wasn't it? In 2 different rounds. It was a bit harsh. I thought the two of them were rattled, as I said, and the way Crocker had his head leaned forward didn't help the situation either. But that's no one's fault. I mean, it happened. But as you said as well, after the 8th round and the bell went, and that final swing. Now, he maybe had a second to think about it and he hit, but it was the excuse the referee needed to call off the fight, I felt. But I felt Donovan was getting the better of him. Crocker's a tough man. I did feel Donovan was getting the better of him. And it felt, at the end, in the last 2 rounds, it felt like Crocker wanted that out. I think he wanted it.
Yeah, he was getting better.
It felt like that. Yeah. Now it's going to be a different fight this time, and Crocker's going to have to readjust and maybe bring a different game plan. Yeah. I seen Andy Lee talking yesterday, and he said he's going to have to do definitely something different, which I'm sure he will, and the team. But I think Donovan is a class act, and it's great to see.
See, it'll be interesting, Paul, because Crocker is supposed to have power. I got the feeling from that fight that Paddy Donovan wasn't respecting his power, which is interesting. You know what I mean? So, is he going to put it on him a bit more? I think he is. I think Paddy Donovan is going to put it on him a bit more in this fight. I think he took a lot of confidence from the last fight. Crocker has it all to do. And Paul, look, they're both nice lads. They come across as both good lads. They're trainers, nice chaps as well. I like Billy Nelson. I enjoy him, and I like Andy Lee. So it's all to play for, Paul. It's going to be a brilliant rematch.
Donovan got hit a couple of times. He looks to have a chin though.
He does. That's what I mean. I was thinking, because before I was thinking, Crocker is known to be able to bang a bit, and Donovan was in the firing line there, and it didn't seem to bother him, So I'd say as well, like, he took a lot of confidence from that. But could that be a bit of an undoing for him this time? Will he get caught? This is what makes the fights interesting, I'd strongly favour Paddy Donovan based on the last fight.
No, you'd have to.
But you just never know with boxing.
No, boxing is funny. But I thought Donovan looked very well.
Yeah.
I thought he boxed well.
He's a lovely boxer, yeah.
But it's definitely going to be interesting now. I'm looking forward. It's going to be brilliant. A world title, Mick.
A world title, yeah.
Jared Ennis, he's moved up to super welterweight, and basically this belt is on the line now. And what a perfect timing, because the rematch.
And Paul, for the winner, that's a stacked division.
Oh no,
that's a serious division, and the winner, there's a lot of big paydays for them, So
he's home advantage.
Crocker, he does.
But he didn't seem to mind Paddy Donovan.
No, he does. He doesn't mind. He's one of those lads. He doesn't mind. He's a confident fella. Comes across a bit of a character, a nice fella, and he'll go in there and he'll get stuck in. He
reminds me of Manny Pacquiao, the way he lines up.
Yeah,
southpaw.
Yeah.
And the way he picks his shot.
He's a nice fighter, and I've seen Andy Lee being interviewed there during the week, and Andy Lee has made himself, one of the best trainers in the world, you could say. He has some stable of fighters underneath him. He's very respected. He's a respected pundit as well. And he said in the interview that it's he got massive help behind the scenes from Tyson Fury, but he believes that Paddy Donovan put him he brought him up from amateur, didn't he? And he kind of put him on the map.
2019, I think he.
Yeah, and then
got him young.
And then Paddy Donovan said in an interview as well that he got a lot of experience in seeing world champions like Tyson Fury, like Joseph Parker, different people. He's in Whittaker is in his gym. So there's a pool of great fighters there.
Andy Lee thinks he's going to go on and do big things.
He thinks he's going to go on and do big things, yeah. But
it's great for Irish boxing. It's great.
It's great, and look, Lewis Crocker, he's going to know what happened in the last fight. He's going to come out different. He's going to give it his best shot here, and he believes that he's way better than his previous performance, which remains to be seen,
And you know what? He probably can. I mean, Crocker is better than that.
He is better than that, but the same can be said for Donovan.
Oh yeah, no, like, I mean, I think Donovan now. I mean, even with the points deduction, I think he was way ahead.
He was, yeah.
But nonetheless, it's going to be a serious fight, and it's very exciting for Irish boxing, and it's a fight you should tune into, because it's going to be a dinger of a fight.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about now. We will come back and do a podcast on this fight coming up.
We'll be going to the fight as well, so we'll probably get.
This is the Donovan fight, and but I'm saying what we're coming up now. We're talking about Crawford and Canelo. Now we will be doing a whole new podcast, or a whole episode, I should say, on this closer to the fight, and we'll have another lad in here with us, hopefully, to talk to about it. But we'll talk a bit about it for now. Mick, two serious fighters,
Paul. This is one I'm really, really looking forward to, because I really rate both fighters. For me, they're in my top 5 pound for pound.
Big jump up for Crawford.
Jump up. That's the thing. So you see, when you weigh it up, you say to yourself, Crawford, unbelievable boxer, switch hitter, great feet, great hands, great determination, great spite. He has everything.
Yeah, he has.
He has everything. Now, Crawford, as Canelo said, who's your wins?
Yeah,
you know.
Well, Spencer's no joke.
But Paul Spence after the crash that time, I don't.
Yeah,
think
but he came out and had a great win. I think it was.
He had a couple of good wins, but
Danny Garcia, did he come out?
When you look at the opposite, when you look at Canelo's fights,
I know that.
A serious pool of boxers. So
100%.
it is. So Paul, look, it's a big step up in, but I think he's able for the step up. I think he's a world class operator.
He's a confident fighter, Mick.
I think he's very confident.
He's spiked too. Like you can see, he has that meanness in him when he's fighting.
So Paul, it comes down to, is Canelo's age going to be a factor? Is Canelo more road worn, or does Canelo's power? And Canelo's very stocky, great chin, great power, and will he start landing big shots on Crawford and start hurting him? Remains to be seen. So it's very interesting fight, this.
Nobody could dispute Canelo's resume. It's been unbelievable. And there's one thing I admire about him. Now, I think he's lost one or two extra fights. That's only an opinion.
He got the decision on it. Yeah.
I could say 2 or 3 fights.
Yeah.
But there's one thing I admire, and not more than any man, but definitely up there. He has fought everybody. He hasn't ducked anybody, and he fights very frequently, and that has to be admired. Like, it feels like he's been around forever because he's been fighting that long. Yeah. So he's very, very
bags of experience,
very, very experienced.
Yeah.
Like you said, is he on the slide? He took on some big challenges. Even moving up to fight Bivol was a big test for him, and a brave test.
Yeah.
Now, Bivol was too good in the night, but he's a serious fighter. Like you said, Crawford. I wouldn't say anyone's questioning his resume, but you would just say that Canelo has
it's a step up.
It has a better resume. But that's neither Crawford's fault.
But he fought who was there, and bet them, and he's a lovely boxer to watch. Crawford. His movement, his hands, and he's very spiteful as well. If he gets you hurt, or if he gets you on the back foot, if he gets into a rhythm, he's very spiteful. He's a great boxer, But so is Canelo. Canelo is a top class operator as well, and if he gets you hurt, he's very spiteful. So, they're both mentally very strong, and they're both top class operators. And Paul, fair play to them for taking the fight.
Yeah, no.
These are the fights we want to see.
Oh no, that's boxing. Boxing these big matchups, and it's brave of Crawford as well. As I said, the jump
very
up,
brave. It's going
to be very interesting. Yeah. And all the belts are on the line.
Paul, interestingly enough, when I seen them facing each other, there wasn't much difference in height. Crawford obviously didn't look as stocky, bulky of a fella, but from a height point of view, there wasn't. I thought there'd be more in it. There wasn't much in it.
Yeah, it's going to be an absolute dinger. 2 top class, 2 elite fighters.
Yeah.
And it's actually on September the 13th as well on Netflix. So you have a serious night of boxing there. So I'd definitely be getting ready for that one. We're going to move on to now that we're mentioning Netflix and we're mentioning this card is under...
It's under Turkey Al Sheikh's new, we call it platform, if you want.
With Dana White.
With Dana White, yeah. Which is interesting. We seen Dana White sitting down with them, and they were having a bit of a discussion about the upcoming fight. But on the whole, Paul, there was this big announcement with Turkey Al Sheikh and Dana White, and it's gone pretty quiet. I seen Eddie Hearn having an interview last week. Now, they at Matchroom have changed their branding slightly. They're coming out swinging. And basically, Eddie Hearn said that he knows that they were looking at, he called them BC level boxers. And these boxers, according to Eddie, will do as they're told. So is that a thing where they're trying to get it more like a UFC thing where they have control of the money, you just fight everybody? Boxing is different. When you get a boxer that has clout, they won't be told. If you want them to fight their prize fighters and to see it that way. So this might not be as easy to navigate as they think. And Turkey Al Sheikh came out, which was brilliant. put on some amazing fights, and he put up some amazing purses. But now,
But
the boxers are kind of looking at it and going, are we going to take 10 steps back here with Dana White in the purses? What's going on here? So it's just hard to know. It's not going to be as easy to navigate as they think it is.
The argument could be that a lot of people like the UFC and the way the fights are matched. I know, like, it might be the prize money and that might be different, but a lot of people like the fact that the UFC is competitive and it's free. It's every week. I mean, every weekend there's a card.
Fight each other, and that's another thing.
Someone could argue about boxing that the matchups weren't made when they should have been. I mean, 100%. If you go back to Fury and Joshua and Wilder, I know Wilder fought Fury, but I think the other way around, it hasn't been brilliant either. I think Turki Al-Sheikh, when he came in, the fight started to get made. Yeah. So that's an argument too.
But will they be made as easy, Paul, when the purses aren't as big? Like, you literally, he made the fights because literally you could not turn down the money. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, of course.
So there's always going to be that thing. Like, even, we were talking on last week's podcast about Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul. That's purely about money. Yeah, but the money thing is a big factor. Like, and when you have Dana White and the way he operates, he's going to think this money is astronomical. We can't keep going to this. Do you know what I mean? So the only thing is, if they got some kind of a format that the top whatever fighters in each division, got X amount, if I don't know, it's just going to be a tricky one to get right. I don't think it's going to be straightforward, Paul. I think it's so different to UFC that it's just going to be different. Now, look, I love the fact that they all fight each other in the UFC, and Turki Al-Sheikh has come out because they're already trying to push it where he wants 0 pay-per-view now on fights on the zone for any of his fights with Dana White. But Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn has come out and says we can't put on these big stadium fights without pay-per-view. So they're at loggerheads a bit with the thinking. Now, we know that Turki Al-Sheikh seems to have a bottomless pit of money, so maybe he'll throw some money into it and buy his way into it. Paul, it's going to be interesting times ahead.
Yeah. As you said, the B and C level fighters or so, someone said it. Boxing fans love to see boxing again if they're well matched.
Yeah.
Like, I know me personally, when I'm watching boxing all my life, it used to drive me mad seeing good fighters, top class fighters coming in and fighting lads that they're beating. And it's just to fill up the numbers, to get the win on the resume.
The two even fellas, brilliant fights.
And that's very disheartening because you're looking for years and you're thinking these are mismatches.
Like Ben and Eubank.
You look at a card, you go to and I'm not talking gambling here, but I'm just saying, if you go onto any of the bookmakers' websites, the day of a fight, you just go down through the line and you'll see them all. 1 to 5, 1 to 10, 1 to 16, 1 to 20, like more or less saying they're mismatches, every one of them. That's one thing that, now obviously there'll be fights closer than what the prices are saying. But, they're not made, they're intentionally, I think, they're only put in there to fill a number to get a win on a man's resume. I would like to see more competitive fighting. Even if they're B and C level fighters, it's good to see them matched up because, Conor Benn and Eubank didn't fight a few weeks ago for anything, only pride. What a fight it was.
Brilliant fight.
And that's what boxing fans love. They love to see it. Now I know at a bigger level it might be a bit different, but I still think that there could be something positive took from the UFC as far as matchups. It
remains to be seen. But what I was saying is it's just gone very quiet. It'd be nice to see what the plan of action is here. Maybe it'll be announced. I imagine it will after the Canelo Crawford fight. I imagine then things will start opening out. And look, you're talking about a smart guy, Dana White, Turki Al-Sheikh. They're smart operators, so I'm sure they've something up their sleeve. But this is what I heard from Eddie Hearn during the week, and Frank Warren was saying that he couldn't put on fights without pay-per-view. So look, it's interesting times ahead, but it's all good for boxing to have someone like Dana White and Turki Al-Sheikh coming into the mix, because as you said earlier, Paul, there was an awful lot of fights held back. Why did we never see Fury and Joshua in their prime? We didn't see Wilder and Joshua in their prime. You know what I mean? The fighters were definitely held back, regardless of what promoters are saying. or filling you with. That's the simple facts of the matter. And Paul, would we have ever seen Fury and Usyk only for Turkey Al Sheikh? You know what I mean? We probably wouldn't. So money talks, but yeah, look, for me as a boxing fan, it's all good. I'm enjoying what I'm seeing. I just hope that they keep pushing it
Pacquiao
forward.
Mayweather was another example. Too late. You wouldn't have seen that with the lads, with your Hearns, your Hagler,
fighters,
Leonard. They were always fighting.
Yeah.
And obviously Frazier, Ali was frequent, and it's just I think there's too much made now of being undefeated. That's the big thing now. You have to be undefeated. You have to be undefeated. That's what protect that as long as you can.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like. And then there's mismatches made sometimes. But look, we don't know obviously the dealings between it all, but we as fans, that's all we can talk about as fans.
Yeah.
We obviously like to see a bit more sometimes. Anthony Joshua, Jake Paul, there was rumours last week we were talking about. It's gone quiet again.
Yeah.
It's not something Jake or Anthony Joshua would have entertained if he was in a different position in boxing. I just think it's a shame because I think he's too good to go to this. You were saying
Paul, is it going to happen?
Well, it shouldn't happen. I
seen Spencer Oliver talking about a guy. I don't really know him, Paul. He's an Olympic gold medalist. Can't think of his name, but he's even been mentioned now with Joshua. But what's the point in that fight? Joshua's in the twilight of his career. If he's going to fight, get stuck into somebody with a name. Get stuck in and have a fight, and let's see where you are in your career.
I'd like to see them actually, fighting someone
someone in the top 10, like.
Yeah, because maybe he might have had one last spurt.
Exactly.
But this Jake Paul thing is, Jake Paul is a brilliant businessman. He's a clever man, and he's good at what he does. But let's be real here. And who are we codding? Who are we pretending to? Jake Paul wouldn't have a hope on Anthony Joshua. Now, because what we're really saying is we're watching a fixed match. That's what we're really saying. Because if that fight's made, it's fixed. If it's made.
Yeah. And
if you find out tomorrow, if you hear the fight's been announced, it's fixed. Because there's no way that Joshua's not been told, go easy in that fella. Yeah. So it's basically going to be scripted.
If it's a real fight, Anthony Joshua will put him into orbit, as we said in the last.
He'll put him to Mars. Elon Musk.
He's sending the rocket up to bring him back down.
He'll be waiting for me. Right. You said there was talk on YouTube the other day about Joshua and Yoka.
Yeah, that's the guy. Yeah, he's a gold medalist. And look, Paul, pointless. Come on now, lads. It's pointless. You know what I mean? It's either Tyson Fury and Joshua, or it's Tyson Fury is going to get the rattle at Usyk, which I don't agree with. I think Joseph Parker should. But this is what we're seeing. But the whole thing is just up in the air. It's the same kind of stuff. I
was watching Parker even talking on TalkSport today. He doesn't even seem confident that he's going to get the fight with Usyk.
No.
And that's terrible because he does deserve it. He definitely does deserve it. No one knows what Usyk is thinking.
There's rumours going around, Paul, that Usyk is going to retire from boxing and go into an MMA fight. So it's fighting world is the wild, wild west at the minute. But look, Usyk is nothing to prove. Usyk is class act, and he deserves to retire if he wants to retire. He can do whatever he wants, basically. He's beaten all before him. He has nothing left to prove. You would like to see, if he's going to come back boxing, you would like to see Joseph Parker getting his shot with Usyk. But I personally can't see it. I think he'd fight, as I said, Fury quicker because it's going to be his last big, massive payday, and that will be a big, massive payday. And it's gas, Paul, wasn't I coming over here today and I was listening to Joe Rogan, and he was talking about the exact same subject and how good Usyk is, and Joseph Parker's next in line. But he actually said he'd personally prefer to see him fight Tyson Fury again, because Tyson Fury is the only one who possibly could beat him, or he gave him his closest fights. So there you go. That's from Joe Rogan, who's a fan of boxing in his own right. You know what I mean? So that's what I mean, Paul. It's all about the money. Where is he going to get the biggest, money? Is he going to fight Jake Paul in an MMA fight and maybe get bigger money? This is the madness of it. But
I can't see that happening.
Yeah.
So neither of them fought MMA, and all of a sudden they're talking about fighting MMA. They should have never fought MMA. I don't know.
But this is the unknown side of this, we'll say, celebrity matchups or YouTubers
one of his
or
belts,
whatever you want to call them.
he's 10 days for these for one of his belts.
He's a month.
Take,
so
and then then we have to.
Then we
potentially could be Moses Atuma and Parker for that belt.
And Parker for that belt, yeah. And providing Moses Atuma comes through Dillian White, which we imagine he will.
Yeah, so we're getting too far.
And then it's Moses Atuma and Joseph Parker, which, look, it's unfortunate, again, for Joseph Parker that he's been laid up for so long. Because he was at his best when he was being active.
He's waiting around, you're right. Yeah. Sorry, I actually went ahead of myself there.
Yeah.
Moses Atuma has to fight Dillian White.
Yeah.
So therefore, he's not going to wait around waiting now for a fight with Moses Atuma, because he's going to have to, if he beats Dillian White, which I think he's going to beat Dillian White, but we'll talk about that again. He's going to be waiting around. So Parker needs a fight soon. And even the fact that just after his fight.
The thing about it is, he's caught in a rock and a hard place, Parker, because if he fights, he's going to have to fight someone decent. He could run the risk of not getting his title shot, which is the money shot for him.
I know, yeah.
So it's an unfortunate situation that he's in, and it's a pity because, look, he took on all comers. He beat Shang. He beat Deontay Wilder. He beat in his last fight. He beat Martin Bakoli, who was the boogeyman who stepped in at the last minute. And there was controversy over Dubois that time. So look, he's
on a very good run.
He's taken on all comers, so he deserves a shot.
Yeah. Look, I don't know. If he retires Usyk, I'm just thinking is Fury going to hang in there trying to get him the world title again? I think Usyk still has a couple of years left in him. I know. I think he should retire, but looking at him as an athlete,
from what we've seen in
he
his
looks
last
like he's a couple of years left.
Looks great.
I think Fury could be closer to the
Fury,
his career more so than Usyk.
I think if Fury comes back against Usyk, I fancy Usyk strongly because Usyk is active. Usyk is coming into the weight, and Usyk gets better when he's in against you. He is a way of reading you. I just think that Usyk now is in the form he's in is going to be very hard to beat.
Yeah. Mick, I'm going to wrap up. Is there anything you want to touch on before we finish?
I think that's everything for now, Paul.
So that's it. We'll be back. We're definitely going to be always doing one a week. If not, we can throw in a couple. Sometimes I might do a reaction video, but we'll be keeping this active, that's for sure. And we'll be only getting better as this goes along. So thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, comment, the whole lot, and keep an eye out for us. Take care.